This month, as NFL training camps move into full swing, the league is filled with young, dynamic African-American quarterbacks.
Wilson breaks a tackle.
But tonight, you're going to hear the untold story of the men who paved their way, who to this day share an unbreakable bond.
My offensive line at Denver were white and from the South. Not only had they not played with a black quarterback before they got to the pros, they never played with a black player, period.
Their journey was long, humiliating.
I mean, I got death threats in different places we went in.
And this is what year, Warren?
This is like 1990.
But ultimately triumphant.
Quarterback, number 17, Doug Williams.
Little boy from Zachary, Grambling, got a chance to play in the Super Bowl.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Reggie from HBCU Spotlight, and I'm back with another banger. As you can see, 88% of the channel's viewers are not subscribed. So hit that subscribe button and notification bell so that you will be alerted anytime that I upload a video. Without further ado, let's get into it. This is the story of yet another trailblazer who is out to bring black colleges back to prominence. This is the story of Noah Bodden. Bodden is a 6'4", 216-pound pro-style quarterback from Middle Village, New York, where he attended Christ the King Regional High School. He was a 3-star recruit, the 10th best player in New York, the 67th best pro-style quarterback in the country, and the best quarterback in New York. He began starting on varsity as a sophomore, but looking at his stats, his high school appeared to be pretty pass-heavy. In his sophomore and junior seasons, he completed a total of 248 out of 511 passes, racking up 4,121 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, along with 23 interceptions. He averaged 228.9 yards a game. But looking at those numbers, you can tell that he was a gunslinger. Pretty similar to NFL Hall of Famer Brett Favre, current quarterbacks Matt Stafford, Jameis Winston, and Dak Prescott. Calling him a gunslinger is by no means meant to be a derogatory term. Hell, I just compare him to an NFL Hall of Famer and NFL starters. A gunslinger simply means that he has a wild, risky, and quick throwing play style. With all of that being said, he'll have to clean it up a little bit on the next level to consistently lead his team to victory. In high school, he had a multitude of college coaches begging him to sling the rock for their prospective schools. He had a total of 19 scholarship offers. Those schools were Oregon, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, Baylor, Arizona State, Alcorn, Morgan State, and Grambling, just to name a few. I'm sure after hearing some of those schools, you guys are like, wow, this man had huge Power 5 schools after him. What made him choose Grambling? I want to be a trendsetter, Bodden said. I want to be like LeBron James. A lot of people don't know that the reason I am at Christ the King now is because of Noah. I had a few quarterbacks I have trained prior to him that were good, but they weren't Noah good, Eugene said. So for me, it is like, wow, I get to work with this kid from his freshman year. I got 3 years with him. We can do something and change the world. It's going to bring a lot of attention to black colleges, and deservedly so, said Doug Williams, who played for Grambling in the 1970s and in 1988 became the first quarterback to start in and win a Super Bowl. 3 decades later, Williams is a part of the scouting committee sponsored by the NFL that is pushing to ensure that HBCU players get a fair consideration in the league's annual draft. With the social unrest this summer, a lot of HBCUs have been getting transfers and contacted by players that normally wouldn't have before, said B.J. Jones, a former linebacker at Southern University in Louisiana and a writer for HBCU Game Day. I think a lot of kids now are thinking, hey, you can love my talent, but do you love my humanity? Jones, who was a third-generation HBCU football player, insists that black colleges tend to emphasize developing student athletes into well-rounded people rather than simply focusing just on sports. His grandfather played football at Tuskegee University and his father and brother at Alabama State. When Jones was at Southern, which is near the LSU campus in Baton Rouge, he and his teammates worked out and socialized with their LSU counterparts. Jones said many of them envied the hospitality and comfort they felt while walking around the Southern campus. They would light up when they came to visit, Jones said. They would tell us, I don't fear ownership in my school like you do. It's not just how you treat the black athlete on campus. It's about how you treat the ordinary black student who maybe can't give you anything. It is by no means a mistake, said Phil Simms, the Super Bowl winning Giants quarterback, who along with his son Matt have helped train Bodden. Look, I went to Morehead State. If you got it, the scouts will find you. Bodden looks to compete for the starting job as a freshman this fall. At this point in time, that's looking like a strong possibility. Their former starter, Jeremy Hickbottom, entered the transfer portal and ultimately ended up at Bethune-Cookman, who plays Grambling on November 17th. The Grambling Tigers struggled mightily this spring and did not win a game. They may be looking to shake things up by throwing their freshman into the deep end and seeing will he sink or swim. He wants to start immediately, and that would have been less likely at a bigger school. It's all about getting to the league, Bodden said, referring to the NFL. If I had a good chance of going to Arizona State and starting, or at least having a shot behind Jaden Daniels, I would go there. But that's not the best decision for me right now. Only one Grambling football player has been drafted by an NFL team in the past decade. Bodden believes he can be the next. Matt Simms, a former quarterback for the Jets and the University of Tennessee, said he has seen NFL caliber talent in Bodden. I'll tell him from time to time during a workout. Just so you know, that throw was good enough to be the 6th or 7th best throw in the NFL this week, Simms said. It's scary to think about how good he can get, because he can already throw the ball 50 yards, 20 feet off the ground. Bodden began working with the Simmses at the suggestion of Bruce Eugene, the offensive coordinator at Christ the King, who was a star quarterback at Grambling. Eugene said that he had initially favored Kansas, Virginia Tech, and Georgia Tech for Bodden, and had not pushed Grambling, but that he was overjoyed by the decision. Bodden's parents initially wanted him to accept an offer from Kansas, but we support his decision now, said his mother. We are very proud of him for making the choice that is right for him. With 15 black college football championships, Grambling has gained a reputation as the Notre Dame of the HBCUs. In 1971, 7 Grambling players were taken in the first 5 rounds of the NFL draft. Since the AFL and the NFL began drafting together in 1967, only 13 quarterbacks have been selected from HBCUs. As integration began to take hold in college football in the early 1970s, and the best players migrated to the large PWIs, the talent pool for the HBCUs began to diminish. The last Grambling quarterback drafted by an NFL team was Clemente Gordon in 1990, and the last player before that was Williams, who was selected in the first round by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 1978. Williams, who also coached at Grambling, replacing the legendary Eddie Robinson in 1998, now works for the Washington football team as the senior vice president for player development. He's going to have a culture shock with the hospitality he's going to get, Williams said of Bodden. It's not just a game there. It's a family reunion. I can't imagine not going to an historically black college. I'm trying to promote a positive vibe, Bodden said. Imagine if a bunch of other recruits go to HBCUs too. If you are good, they're going to come join you. Thanks for watching the video. If you made it to the end, type in Southern Hospitality in the comment section. Let's keep growing and supporting the historically black colleges that we all love. If you enjoyed the content, please subscribe, leave a like, and a comment. We're on the road to 10K. From us, over at HBCU Spotlight, we're rooting for you, Bodden, and looking forward to see you shine on the field. We out of here. Peace.
Thank you everybody for coming. I'd like to thank God for putting me in the position I'm in. Thank my friends and family for being out here to support me. Through everything that's going on, I've decided to go to this school and I feel like it's the best decision for me. Without further ado, I'll be attending Grambling State University.
So when I think of Noah Bodden, aka Manchild, I think of a young man who is focused on his goals and dreams, but more so a young man who's focused on his craft. I think that Noah will do great wherever he lands in life because of his heart. He has one of the biggest hearts in the world.